What is up, Wretched Nation? We are back with another mini bike build episode. Should be the last one. Now we're up in the Wretched room because I had to get all my orders fulfilled. We got that done. So let's go work on the mini bike. Alright guys, we're back in the garage. Let's get you up to speed on where we're at with the mini bike. So if you don't know, this is the first episode you're watching. We took this ct100, I always want to say C2, but ct100 that we've had, it was a pile of garbage pretty much. The engine was in rough shape, and we decided to swap in a Predator 212. It's a pretty common swap. It doesn't fit in there that great. Like, it barely fits in there, and like you can't even get to the gas cap, but it's pretty easy to pop that open. It's got a pretty big tank on it, so if you fill this up with gas, you're probably going to have plenty of fun with it before it runs out. The motor definitely, as you can see, is going to sit out a little bit, but that's a big block, baby. That's how things work. But yeah, we got to mount this thing. We got it running. We just have to mount it, tie up all our cables out of the way, and then work on the hub and chain. So I got some longer bolts somewhere. I'll get those, get this thing mounted, and then we can work on the rest of it. Oh, how we have failed again. And this is what happens when you wait a little bit too long, wait till the last moment to get this done. Yeah, the chain doesn't fit. The chain we bought, too short. It's probably like 10 or 15 links too short. I was going to mock it up and show you guys, but it's not going to work. So I'm not any expert at anything, and I haven't really dealt with mini bikes that much. And let me tell you what I think happened. So pretty sure that with the hub being a little bigger and the motor probably being a little more forward, it's not going to work. Plus the the sprocket that goes with this configuration for the most part on like the ct200 is probably smaller. Have more power, probably have a little bit smaller sprocket to get a little bit more top speed. I'm not worried about the top speed, especially if you take the governors off these things, they go fast enough. I'd be more worried about the low end grunt. So I didn't worry about changing the sprocket. I didn't think about their standard clutch and chain kit. Yeah, probably doesn't reach that. So we got on Amazon. We're gonna have a chain here in like 2 days, so we're gonna button up everything I can. I'll show you what we do once we're done with that, and we're gonna try to get this thing finished. Yeah, so bad on me not knowing what I'm doing, but this is how I learn. I'm not somebody you can just tell what to do. I won't remember. But when I make mistakes and work through those mistakes, that's when I remember and learn the most. So comment down below if you're that type of person. Can you just learn off being told, or do you have to be a fuck up like me to get things figured out? All right, so we got this thing pretty much buttoned up as far as we can go. We did move the throttle cable. I think it's got more snap now. It's not as pretty, but it functions better, and I'm fine with that. And what we did do is we left the stock turn or on and off switch just as a precaution in case this one up here breaks, it flips over, whatever. So technically you're going to need both of these in the run position to work, which is fine. As you know, I figured if this thing wrecks or whatever, it's better to be able to turn it off in 2 different spots than one. And what we also did is we bypassed the oil switch. These engines are designed for like pressure washers and generators, and they're basically made to, like, if they, you know, flip over at all or uneven, they'll shut off. But, you know, sometimes these mini bikes, they'll, you don't want to have to constantly start it up if you drop it, if you're leaning it or whatever, you know. So it's just more of, it's, from what I've seen, most people take this off, so I said fuck it. So did we. But we put our little ground there for the switch. We have our stock switch. They're all tied in. It should work. All we need to do now is wait for that chain so we can get this motor lined up, get everything tightened down. That should be it. But I've probably said that should be it a few times. So let's see where, after I think 2 days, let's see where we end up. All right, guys, the new chain and bolt came in today for the mini bike. We got it installed. We got it running, but unfortunately it's really dark because, you know, it gets dark at 5. So we're gonna try something out here. All right, we got our mini bike outside. We got our new Cobalt headlight. Don't laugh, it's not dumb if it works. So we got a headlight now. Let's crank this thing up, get her going. We got a new chain, got it adjusted. The only thing is there was no spacer for the clutch. So the clutch moves a little bit. Definitely probably needs to be rectified. All right, so it's the next day. Last night, the GoPro kept being weird. I've come to find out that I think I need new batteries. It said like 40% left, and then it just died on me. So these batteries are probably worn out. And it was really dark, so y'all couldn't really see anything. But we got the mini bike running. Let's go over it. All right, so this thing is done. I had strapped a work light to it last night to try to, you know, at least ride it down the path and whatnot. And not gonna lie, this thing is kind of terrifying. So it can move my big ass probably a lot quicker than it should be. I was a little worried about the takeoff. All right, I had to keep stopping the video. I don't know if you could hear in the background, but there's some guys on dirt bikes just riding the hell out of them up and down the road here. So I don't know how much was in the background, but I'm trying to wait for them to pass so you can hear me talking because it kind of echoes where I'm at. But yes, it would appear that having the big sprocket on the back really helps with torque. I think the ct100u has a smaller sprocket, and I'm completely fine with that. I'm not really worried about top speed with this thing. I remember the stock one, I had to like push off because, you know, I'm not a small guy. I had to kind of push off to really get this thing moving. Well, not anymore. And then also one thing we were waiting on, it'll be here Friday, but we need spacers for this. What we got did not come with it, so they should be here Friday, and everything should be pretty much buttoned up. It's in decent shape, but just sketchy enough, like all mini bikes should be. So let's get this thing running and take the work light off and see what we can do. All right, guys, hopefully you can hear me and hopefully we don't crash. I'm a little big for this thing. Woo. I think we just threw the chain off. Let's check it out. Yep. Yep, so we're gonna have to do two things and we'll get that fixed. This right here moving around, plus I think it's catching this, that's throwing our chain. Once we get the new space or the spacers for that, and I probably need to cut that off, this thing should do pretty good. Plus that chain's still a little brand new. I'm sure it's stretching. All right, it's loose enough for us to pop it back on. Got it popped back on. Let's try this again. Yeah, don't ride too bad. It's definitely a little small for me. Yeah, all the bumps is what's giving it a hard time. definitely moves. It definitely moves. But yeah, we got two things going on. That clutch definitely doesn't need to be moving around like that. Those spacers will fix that problem. And then I think that chain is a little bit too loose. Once we get all that done, I can still move the motor up a little bit. I had it all the way back, and I think I can move it up a little more. Once that chain gets to stretching, you know, that's just how it goes, especially brand new. We could probably take one link out, move the motor all the way back, but I really haven't ridden it much, so I would think the chain's gonna stretch a little more. I don't want to do that yet. I'd rather it be a little on the loose side than like having to put an extra link in there. I don't want to do that. So we'll be all right though. I mean, it's not too bad. It's definitely a little terrifying. Not as bad during the day. When I was riding around last night with that little dinky light on there, absolutely terrifying. But not too bad. Like I said, it's just a little small for me. But yeah, if you are interested, you can go to wretchedclothing.com, spend 10 bucks on anything there. Every $10 you spend, you will get one spot in the giveaway to win this thing. Honestly, this thing is really fast, or let me just say it's pretty torquey for what it is, especially with my weight, you know, and that's just the beginning. This is still a stock motor. You can change the intake, you can change the exhaust, and then if you go in and change the cam and take the governor out, this thing would be absolutely terrifying. But yeah, for every 10 bucks you spend, wretchedclothing.com will get you a spot to win this thing. If you have any questions, please comment them down below. I'm pretty happy with the result. It's just those couple things that I got to bolt up. But next week is Thanksgiving, so we're going to go ahead and give this thing away. The whole goal was I wanted to give this thing away so it could be a sweet Christmas present for somebody, or since we're doing a cash prize, I wanted to get that money out to people before Black Friday, because that's like the big shopping time of the year. That's when you're going to get the most discounts on stuff. So I wanted to get that cash in your hands. So Saturday, November 18th, is going to be the final day that you can win this, or 300 bucks. Sunday, we'll do the drawing sometime on Sunday. We're going to go live on our TikTok, which is Wretched Nation. That's because I have the most following there. That way I can reach the most amount of people possible. I will do a video and post it up here of who the winner is and showing that. But yeah, if you want to get on this, definitely get it. You got a couple days left. Comment down below if you have any questions. Like, subscribe. And as always, keep it wretched.